my class gave a graduation party, a beach party, at this beach called Playa del Rey. It was a night beach party where they set these trash cans on fire to light up the beach to make it look so romantic. And I'm walking along the beach by myself, the professor, with a can of soda. And I stopped because I saw this guy and this girl underneath a blanket. And the blanket was moving. And I listened, and the girl, I heard her say, "Ooh." Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to get underneath a blanket. But everybody knows the professor doesn't get underneath blankets, right? And somebody was passing around something. And I wish I remembered what it was because it became my first drink. It was either some Tyrolia or some Spinata. High class stuff, right? Back when they used to make it in the jugs and you could chug a lug, right? Because you see, by now, my thinking told me I could take a drink and I would never become my father. I'm going to college on a full scholarship. My father was a high school dropout. I'm smarter than him. My father was a janitor, a custodian. I'm going to be the next Perry Mason. I'm better than him. My ego told me that I could drink and I would never become him. And so I drank. Probably only another alcoholic can truly understand the effect produced in me by alcohol in the beginning, when it was working. Alcohol, I never really liked the taste of alcohol, but I acquired a taste for it. Because you see, I knew what the effect that was going to be produced would do for me. I would drink it, and that burning sensation would go down my throat and into my chest. And as that warmth started to spread, I just started to grow. It felt as if I just started getting taller. And I don't know if you ever saw this television show called The Incredible Hulk. But I felt like I just started getting bigger. And my hair just got longer. And my skin just got lighter. And my hand slid in my pocket. And I got this lean. And all of a sudden, I was just cool. I don't curse when a couple of words, every now and then sprinkled in my pitch, but it's not really that necessary. But there's one word I need to share, and I hope I don't offend anybody. I apologize ahead of time, but I need to describe to you the effect produced in me by alcohol, before and after. Before I started drinking, I used to try to curse people out in school, and I would say, "Oh, you motherfucker." That was about the effect it produced. It was really quite sad. I did not need to do that. No. After I started drinking, yeah, motherfucker. It worked. Alcohol freed me from every fear and inhibition that I had ever grown up with, and it worked. I need to let you know that alcohol saved me. It saved me from the insanity of my thinking and the fears that I'd grown and been shackled to all of my life. And now all of a sudden I'm a black kid on a college campus, and I'm in the Black Students Freedom Alliance. And I'm going to the panty raids and the beer bust. And I'm going ahead and we're talking politics. And I'm dancing now. I need to let you know that when I was in school, in high school, we used to have these things called the noon dance, where they would have all the kids come together for a dance in the middle of the school day, and they would turn the lights off and put these red lights or these blue lights in, and they would have us dancing and stuff, and they would have, always at the end of the dance, they would put on these slow records so that the guys and the girls could get together and slow dance. We called it slow dragging at the time, and they could really get romantic. And they had a group at the time called the Dells out. And the Dells had a record out called Stay in My Corner. And it was long and it was slow. And the guys loved when they would put that record on, because they would rush and they would get a girl and they would all get romantic. And they would be, man, they would put on Stay in My Corner, and I'd be staying in my corner. Because I am so afraid of rejection. One of my primary fears. Because I don't think she's going to say no. I know she's going to say no. And when I walk across the room and I ask her to dance, and when she says no, and I have to take that walk of shame back across the room, and everybody's looking at me and laughing at me, I just don't even try. After I started drinking, I was in college and they had a group called Parliament. And Parliament had a record out called Flashlight. Flashlight. And I remember I would be out on the dance floor, and they had a dance called the Bump Out. And they said, Flash, and I was... I can't describe that for the people on the tape, but suffice to say, I was bumping around the whole podium, okay? I could dance all of a sudden. And you know something? Fear didn't stop me anymore, because when I would drink, I didn't care if she said no, I just went to the next one. Because now all of a sudden I'm free. And I am freed from everything that had been holding me back before. And I need to let you know that it made me feel so good that I needed to feel that way on Monday too. I couldn't just feel that way on the weekends at the parties. I wanted to feel good Monday. And I wanted to feel that way Tuesday. And now all of a sudden I'm doing daily drinking. Daily drinking starts doing some things to you. Now I'm in my second or third year at Loyola, and my grades started to slip. I'm no longer a straight A student. I'm getting B's and C's. And I don't care about that, because after all, I'm still passing the classes. And I'm like most alcoholics. I need to protect that which freed me. And so I start making excuses for it. And I said, well, nobody wants to be just a bookworm anyway. I want to be a student of life. I had all the catchphrases down to justify my behavior. And all of a sudden, my character started to change. Because I wanted to still keep up with my class. And if you're drinking every day and night, you can't study. So now I start cheating on my exams. My spirit started getting real sick. I started writing the answers on the cuffs of my shirts, going to the bathroom during the exams. I started plagiarizing my term papers. Hell, I started buying term papers from these services that used to sell them, because it didn't matter whether or not I really did the work. I just needed to pass and keep up. This was a guy who never, ever strayed from anything on the straight and narrow before drinking. Now, after drinking, it's anything goes, because I need to be able to keep drinking. Somehow, by the grace of God, I need to let you know that I'm like a lot of people who shared that I've heard earlier this week, you know, and I like the way Doug put it with outside issues and stuff, the way that we put it. I need to let you know that the progression of my disease caused me to not only drink, but I used everything under the sun in combination with my drinking, because I always require more. Somewhere, somehow, I got out of school on time in 1976. I graduated from Loyola University with a Bachelor of Liberal Arts degree and got accepted to go to law school, pursuing Perry Mason. I went to law school doing a geographic, because I knew if I stayed in Los Angeles getting loaded with my brothers, I knew I would never get out of school on time. So I went to San Francisco. a place called Hastings College of the Law. I heard a few people chuckle because, you know, if you want to escape drinking, you don't go to San Francisco. Hastings is located in a section of San Francisco known as the Tenderloin. It is what it sounds like, a haven for drinking. I was right at home. And you see, I went and became a law clerk for a guy who was an alcoholic. We attract what we are. And I became this law clerk for this guy that every day when 5 o'clock would hit, he would give me a fistful of money and run me across the street to get a fifth of brandy, and we would unwind from the day at work. And I thought, this is the way that you do it. And then he'd give me another fistful of money to go get this other stuff. And we just get loaded all night. And I thought, this is the way you're supposed to do it. And I went to summer school after my first year of law school, summer school after my second year of law school, and I graduated from law school early, in 2.5 years. Faster than any of my other classmates had finished. I'm 23 years old, and I graduated from law school. It's December of 1978. And they have a test you got to take to become an attorney called the bar exam. They're giving a bar exam in February of '79, and I'm still in San Francisco because I want to walk across the stage with my classmates when they finish that last semester. And the graduation isn't until May. And so I said, well, I might as well take the bar exam in February. Nobody passes it the first time, and I'll at least have a practice test under my belt so that I'm ahead of everybody when they get out of school. Well, I need to let you know that when May comes and my family flies up from Los Angeles to see me walk across the stage, the bar results come out that same day, the day of my graduation. And there's a banging on my door as I'm getting dressed with my cap and gown that morning. And it's my best friend that I was a law clerk with, and he's banging on the door and says, Ronald, guess what? They just posted the bar results, and you passed. And at age 24, before I even walk across the stage to take my diploma, I become one of the youngest black attorneys ever licensed to practice law in the state of California. And it's always funny to me when people clap for me during that portion of my pitch, because you won't be clapping very much for a while, okay? Because you see, I'm an alcoholic. Because I thought that that was confirmation that everything that I'd been doing must have been cool. It must have been what I could do. I can do this. And so my drinking really took off, because combine some ego with alcohol. I knew I was going to be a millionaire by the time I was 30. By the time I was 30, I didn't even have a bank account. By the time I was 30, I didn't have a mansion or a condominium nor a house on the hill. I was living back at home with my mother in Los Angeles, sleeping on her floor. By the time I was 30, I didn't have a job for a law firm on Wilshire and Westwood in the beautiful part of Los Angeles. The only job I had was carrying out the trash and watering the lawn for a 21-year-old dope dealer who lived across the street from my mother. I could not even imagine the shame and degradation that my mother felt looking at this son she had just been so proud of just 5 years before.